Jungkook left quietly after Jimin's concert. This is what happened. That night, Jimin's concert atmosphere was lively. Thousands of soldiers filled the arena, cheering, singing along, even crying as Jimin performed his long-awaited emotional songs. However, there is one figure whose presence steals the spotlight even though it is not officially announced: Jungkook. From the start of the concert, some observant fans spotted Jungkook's silhouette sitting in a staff-only area, trying to hide himself with hats and masks. Even so, the occasional gleam in his eyes made ARMY instantly convinced it was indeed him. Throughout the concert, Jungkook did not stop paying attention to the stage. When Jimin sang with great appreciation, the fans' cameras that panned towards the audience several times captured the figure of Jungkook, who also smiled a little, even looked down as if dissolved in emotion. It didn't come as a superstar that night, but as a friend, brother, and someone who wants to give support secretly. However, the shocking incident came after the concert was over. Instead of showing up with Jimin or the other staff, Jungkook left quietly. Some fans who were still around the venue noticed the movement of several bodyguards escorting someone towards the back exit. There were no big cheers, just a few splashy whispers when they realized that the figure walking quickly in the black hoodie was Jungkook. Why did Jungkook leave quietly? That's the big question that instantly filled social media. Some suspected that he did not want to steal the show from Jimin, because the night was supposed to belong entirely to his best friend. Jungkook knew very well that the media spotlight would quickly turn on him if he appeared blatant. By choosing to go quietly, he seemed to say, "This is your stage, I'm just here to support." However, internal sources close to the concert team revealed another fact. Jungkook was able to meet Jimin briefly backstage after the concert was over. The brief meeting was warm. Jimin, who was still sweating and panting after the last performance, immediately smiled broadly when he saw Jungkook. "You came?" Jimin was surprised and happy. Jungkook just nodded and hugged her briefly while whispering, "You were amazing tonight." After that, without much ado, Jungkook said goodbye first. He did not want to interfere with Jimin's interaction sessions with staff, family, or management. The decision further reinforced the impression that his visit was purely to provide personal support, not seek the spotlight. This moment suddenly made the ARMY overwhelmed. Many wrote on social media that Jungkook's attitude reflects how sincere the relationship between BTS members is. It is not necessary to always show off in public, because their concern is more felt through small actions that are full of meaning. On Twitter, one fan wrote, "Jungkook knows tonight belongs to Jimin. He comes to support, but chooses to leave quietly so that all focus remains on Jimin." That's really the attitude of a brother. While another added, "Imagine how warm their brief embrace was backstage. It was a moment that we will never forget, even if it was not captured on camera." This simple event ended up becoming a big topic, not only because of the mystery of Jungkook's silent departure, but also because of the deep meaning behind it. Fans realized that the relationship between BTS members is not just a professional cooperation, but rather a bond that has been forged over the years with love, sacrifice, and mutual support. And even though Jungkook left without a camera, his smile that was captured watching Jimin sing will be remembered by ARMY. A smile full of pride, happiness, and affection that does not need to be described in words. Well, let's continue this story longer with chronological details, ARMY's reaction, as well as the emotional meaning behind Jungkook's actions, who chose to leave quietly after Jimin's concert. Jimin's concert that night was held with full of energy and emotionality. From the very beginning of the doors opening, the fans had already filled the venue with a sea of light sticks emitting purple light. As Jimin took the stage, cheers broke out, creating a shaking atmosphere. Song after song is delivered with deep appreciation, ranging from passionate solo songs to heart-rending ballads. Amidst the cheers of thousands of fans, there was one figure that not many people were aware of. Jungkook, who arrived without an official announcement, entered early through a staffed door. He wore a black hoodie, mask, and hat, trying to disguise his presence. Nevertheless, some observant fans noticed his characteristic gaze when he looked towards the stage. During the nearly 2-hour concert, Jungkook sat quietly, barely moving apart from occasionally mumbling along to songs. There was one moment that made fans who watched him hold their breath as Jimin sang the ballad soulfully. Jungkook could be seen rubbing his eyes slowly, as if holding back his emotions. For the ARMY who knows how close the relationship between the two, the moment was like a real portrait of how proud Jungkook was of his best friend. After the concert, the backstage atmosphere was filled with staff who were busy cleaning equipment, the management team who made sure everything went smoothly, as well as Jimin's family who were present to congratulate him. In the midst of the hustle and bustle, Jungkook briefly entered Jimin's waiting room. Jimin, who had just stepped off the stage, was still wearing his last costume, his face sweaty but full of smiles. As soon as he saw Jungkook, his eyes lit up. Without long words, they hugged briefly. According to a source at the scene, Jungkook whispered quietly, "You're amazing. I'm proud of you." Jimin laughed a little, then replied, "Thank you for coming. I know you'll always be there." It was a simple but meaningful moment, and interaction is stronger than hundreds of words. After that, Jungkook chose to leave the location immediately. He did not wait for a joint photo session, did not participate in team celebrations, and did not even want to be seen by the public. He only came to provide direct support, then left quietly to keep all the spotlight on Jimin. Some fans who were still around the venue saw a small group of bodyguards moving quickly towards the back door. They escort a man in a black hoodie who walks with long strides. Although his face was partially covered, the fans immediately knew it was Jungkook. No big fuss, no screaming. Instead, the atmosphere becomes haru because they realize Jungkook doesn't want to steal the spotlight. Some fans even wrote on social media that seeing Jungkook leave in such a simple way made them even more touched. As soon as rumors and blurry photos of Jungkook around the venue circulated, social media immediately exploded. Hashtags like #Jungkook for Jimin and #Proud of Jimin started trending. ARMY wrote various comments that described a sense of excitement as well as admiration. One fan wrote, "He could have appeared blatantly and all the media would have reported it." But he knew this was Jimin's night. So he chose silence, came as a best friend, then left without a spotlight. It is the most sincere form of love. Another fan added, "I can't stop imagining their brief embrace backstage. Only they know how warm the moment is." And that was more than enough to make me cry. In fact, some Korean media outlets that reported on this incident highlighted Jungkook's humble side. They wrote that the act shows how deep the friendship between BTS members is, where each other is always supportive without having to rival or grab attention. Jungkook's decision to come without official announcement, watching from a distance, then leaving quietly after providing personal support, harbored a deep meaning. First, he showed appreciation attitude on stage. Jimin. He is aware that every solo concert is a precious moment for each member, and that night was all about Jimin. Secondly, his actions illustrate how sincere their fraternal relationship is. There is no need to show off in front of the camera. There is no publication agenda. There is only a real presence at an important moment. Jungkook proves that true support doesn't always have to be visible, as long as it's felt. Third, this attitude is a reminder to ARMY that BTS's ties go deeper than just a music group. They are not just colleagues, but a family that is always there, both on the grandiose stage and behind a lonely screen. The story of Jungkook, who came secretly to Jimin's concert, then choosing to go unnoticed by many, is a clear proof of sincerity and true brotherhood. ARMY may have only glimpsed his figure in the distance, but the meaning of his actions is much greater than the camera's glare. Jungkook didn't come as a superstar that night, but rather as a brother who wanted to say, "I'm here, supporting you completely." And though he left quietly, the emotional imprint of that moment will live on in Jimin's heart. Jungkook and the whole ARMY watched from afar. A simple story, but so deep that true love, support, and brotherhood don't always need a stage to show. Sometimes it's the hidden moments that matter most.